Funding in the fourth week of July saw investors investing in one particular sector, FinTech. So which were these FinTechs and other startups which raised funding this week? Let's find out at Your Story's weekly funding roundup. This week, Indian startups raised a total of 135.7 million in equity across 16 deals. This amount is more than double of last week when Indian startups had raised a mere 58 million in funding. However, the equity raised this week is still almost 60% down from week before last week when Indian startups had raised close to 341.3 million in funding. A total of 14.75 million was raised as debt funding this week across 4 deals. 10 of the total 16 equity deals raised by Indian startups this week were early stage deals. Early stage startups raised a total of 58.88 million in equity funding. While there were 6 late stage deals this week, which cornered close to 76.79 million in funding this week. Chennai-based non-banking financing company 5-Star Business Finance Limited on Tuesday announced that it has raised close to 50 million in a funding led by existing investor TPG Capital. Further, existing investors, which include Matrix Partners, Norwest Venture Partners, Sequoia and Morgan Stanley, continue to be invested in the business. What is interesting is that the round values the company at $950 million. Palo Alto and Mumbai-based FinTech firm Drip Capital this week said that it has raised close to $25 million in a Series B funding led by Axel with participation from existing investors Sequoia India, Wing VC and Y Combinator. New investors in this round include US-based GC1 Ventures as well as institutional investor platform Trusted Insight. With this round, the company has raised over 45 million of equity across 4 deals till date and 55 million in debt funding. B2B lender Indify has raised a total of 21.32 million as a part of its Series C round led by CDC Group this week. Existing investors Omedia Network, Elevar Equity and Axel India Ventures are also participating as a part of this round. After a silent period, New Delhi-based e-commerce company Snapdeal this week said that it has raised an undisclosed amount of funding from Anand Piramal, the executive director of the Piramal Group. Now, this investment has been made by Mr. Piramal in his personal capacity, the company said in a release. Now, Snapdeal also recently announced its financial results for FY19. Its consolidated revenues grew to 925.3 crores in 2018 and 19, while Snapdeal's losses also dropped sharply by 71% last financial year. Well, this week, fintech firm Zeta said that it has secured an undisclosed amount of funding as a part of its Series C investment from partner Sodexo. The round values Zeta at about 300 million. What's also interesting is that a day after the announcement, Zeta said that it is merging its corporate and meal benefits business with Sodexo Benefits and Rewards India, an arm of Sodexo. Post the merger, the Bengaluru-based fintech Zeta is expected to hold a minority stake at Sodexo BRS India. There were 4 other deals this week. First was Indonesia-based beauty startup Raina, which announced that it has raised close to $1.82 million in a seed round. Next was California-based AI analytics startup Pies, which announced that it has raised close to $4.6 million in funding. Next was Singapore-based retinal diagnostic startup Leben Care, which also raised funds this week in an angel round. Finally, there was TVS Motors Company, which said as a part of its BSE filings that it has signed a definitive agreement with New York-based Synaptic Systems to invest $7 million in the latter's Series A funding. Well, that was the weekly funding roundup for the 4th week of July. My name is Tarush Bhalla and I'm going to catch up with you next week with another interesting roundup of the week's funding in the Indian startup ecosystem. Until then, be nice and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such videos.